And I'm asking you a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
Not what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So, every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist.
I made a video yesterday and I told you to get your popcorn ready. And boy was I right. The poop seriously hit the fan today. And I mean big time. Let's recap today for Team Dementia. Tough guy Dementia Joe phones into Morning Joe today on MSNBC and begins to yell and rant about elites. Can you imagine a guy who's never worked a day in his life, has never had a real job, who's crying and whining about Democrat elites? And then someone thought it was a good idea to put a letter together, to write some sort of missive, put Joe's name to it, and then send it out, basically calling out the entire Democrat Party saying, I ain't going nowhere. And they seriously sent that out to the media, screaming. The letter was actually a rant saying, I'm not going anywhere. But he wasn't kidding. No, seriously, he didn't go anywhere. I didn't realize it was actually a guide, a manual of sorts, because he didn't leave the White House today. Meanwhile, acting president, Dr. Jill Biden, she went on 3 campaign stops, and all she did was repeat the same old hoaxes. And all the while, her patient Joe was nowhere to be found. On a very critical day for his political career, possibly for his entire presidency, Dementia Joe was nowhere to be found. He took the day off. Then, unbelievably, his staff announced that they were going to have big boy press conferences. They actually said those exact words. You won't believe it, but I'm going to show it to you. And then the main show, the headlining event, was Karine Jean-Pierre absolutely melting down at a press conference. The press corps actually showed up to work today. As you're going to see, they fired real questions at her, and she was helpless to answer. It was so bad that she whined, almost cried to the reporters, wondering why they were treating her so bad, actually making her answer questions that she wasn't going to be able to answer. You know, answering questions like her job entails. She didn't want to answer a single question about the cognitive health of Dementia Joe. Not like she could actually answer the questions anyway. Of course, she was sent out with her marching orders just to basically give people the Heisman and keep them off of her, because she's not going to answer those questions, because Joe's not going to answer those questions. Hunter's not going to answer those questions. Joe Biden's not going to answer those questions, because we already know the answer to the question. Basically today, things seem to go really great for Team Dementia. No, seriously, they went really well. Yeah, I'm kidding. Check this out.
Basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
8 times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
Not what you should.
She's been there for 3 years, and today was the first time she actually had to answer questions, and she was not prepared for this.
Be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please.
She's the one asking for respect after she's been gaslighting Americans for 3 years. The irony is unbelievable. Hey, how about a little respect here? You know I'm the gaslighter in chief, and I've been lying to you to your faces for 3 years, but I want you to respect me.
So every year around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency.
Okay, so understand what you just heard, because you're going to hear it over and over and over again. Whoever her boss is has told her to go out there and just repeat the line. Just keep saying it. So what if these people in the audience get pissed at you? Just keep saying the line. You're going to think, hey, Barry, you're repeating the same clip? Nope, I'm not repeating the clip. She just keeps repeating herself.
That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist.
So what they're asking is, hey, listen, the story broke yesterday that this guy doctor who basically treats Parkinson patients, has been to the White House 8 times over the last 8 months. Basically, once a month, he has come to check on Dementia Joe, and because he's coming there, people are like, so why is this Parkinson doctor showing up to the White House all these times? Legitimate question. She's not going to touch it.
So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're
Dr.
asking
Kevin
me.
Kennard, come to the White House.
But I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names.
We already know the name. Everybody knows the name. The New York Times printed the doctor's name. So why can't you talk about why he was there?
We cannot share names.
We have to. Others he would have met with.
We cannot.
You can share names in regards to if someone came here.
No,
in regards
we
to the
cannot
president.
share. We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to.
What national security reasons would there be not to tell the press the name they already know, that we all already know? It's all over Twitter. Why can't you say the name? Why can't you say whether this guy visited and treated the president? Maybe it is a security problem because maybe he's got what this guy actually specializes in. Maybe that's the reason.
We have to protect.
It's public.
I understand that.
She doesn't even know what to say at this point. And we are about 1.5 minutes in.
I hear
it's
you.
Right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy.
I can't confirm, I can't deny, I can't tell you anything. She keeps saying it, and I'm telling you what's going to happen. This press corps is going to go ballistic on these people over the next couple days. It's going to be incendiary. They are going to just rip her apart, rip Dementia Joe apart, rip Joe Biden apart. It's going to be epic.
I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them.
The doctor.
We have to keep their privacy.
It is public
information.
I hear you.
And you're going to allow this to fester longer, Karina, unless the White House answers the
hold on a second. There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps about him.
What are you missed about? What are you missed about?
Everything he just asked.
He actually said that to the White House press secretary. Hey man, we're pissed how you've been treating us. You've been lying. That's how strong they went after her today.
About?
And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys asked.
Correctly, you didn't have to come back and clean up.
I never answered the question.
Now you got to come back and clean up your mess. Oh my God, he actually did this. This guy is I forget his name, but he's from CBS.
Incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam. And I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the president still stands by that.
No, he didn't. You said that he didn't have a medical exam. He went out and said, yeah, I went to the doctors. And now she's like, well, it was a phone call. It was a check-in. It was like telehealth. I don't know. When I go to the doctor and I use telehealth, that's considered an appointment. She's trying to play with semantics at this point.
He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the president has a couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Kennard.
And I am telling you right now that I am not sharing.
He just said the name. Dr. Kevin Kennard. Dr. Kevin Kennard. He just said the name. There's nothing for you to hold back privacy. It's been published by the New York Times. What are you talking about?
Confirming names from here. It is a security reasons. I am not going to do that, Ed. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry.
Doesn't matter what you say to me. I'm Karine Jean-Pierre. I run this shit here, okay? I don't need to answer to you, please. You can ask as hard as you want.
Angry you get with me? I'm not going to confirm a name. It doesn't matter if it's even in the log. I am not going to do that from here. That is not something I am going to do. What I can share with you is that the president has seen a neurologist for his physical 3 times.
Going right back to it, say the line 3 times. When was the last time? Oh, she's going to say it was February. February, like in, 5 months ago, and we've seen a rapid decline very quickly. In fact, she was the one who said it was all deep fakes out there and cheap fakes and everything else, and now the press is pissed off, which they shouldn't really be. Think about it. The press shouldn't be pissed off. Some of them travel on Air Force One. They've seen this guy. They understand what he's been doing. They've heard him talk. They should not be surprised. What they're surprised with is that she's standing up there and still lying to them. She's still not coming clean with the goods. It's done. It's over. The veil's been pierced. Everybody can see it, and these people in the audience can see it, the press corps, and they're out for blood at this point. You lied to the press. 3
times. And it is in the reporting that we share a comprehensive reporting. Matter of fact, it's more than what the last guy shared.
Oh, she's going to throw it on Trump right now. You guys need to be looking at Trump. That's who you should be looking at, not Dementia Joe. You should go back and look at Trump's records. Well, I'm pretty sure he took a cognitive test because he bragged about acing it all the time. We don't see that with Dementia Joe.
And it is in line with what George W. Bush did. It's in line with what Obama did.
Does she not understand that neither George Bush or Obama or Trump are 81 years old and going through and exhibiting the signs that Dementia Joe is displaying? Everybody can see it. There's no secrets out there. Everybody can see what he's been doing. It's on a daily basis. I told you in my last video, this week was going to be unbelievable. I didn't know it was going to happen so fast, and it'd be right again on Monday, right back to seeing this guy basically walking around with a drool cup, and then today he just completely hid.
So it is comprehensive. It is out there. I just read a quote from it, but I am not going to devolve somebody's name or confirm someone. I'm not going to do that. That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is.
And like I told you, I'm not repeating the same clip. This is her over and over and over. She just keeps saying the same thing.
Inappropriate, and it's not acceptable.
That clip is all over Twitter. Those of you who didn't see it live, it was an absolute crap show. It was unbelievable how she tried over and over and over again just to completely deflect. So let's continue with another set of cuts right here.
Parkinson's expert who's come to visit the White House almost a dozen times over the last year or so, including at least one meeting with the president's physician. Could you state, very clearly, yes or no, was that expert here to participate in anything surrounding the care of the President of the United States?
So let me just say a couple of things. We have had a comprehensive, and I just want to take another step back, comprehensive physical examination. The president has had that. We've given a comprehensive report. We've shared that the past 3 years.
She keeps going back to what's happened a long time ago. These people they're honed in right now. They want today's data. They want to know what's going on with the president today. She can't, she won't, she's not allowed to, something, but she's not going to give them anything, which is going to be horrible for Dementia Joe moving forward.
Every year that he has had this exam, he sees a neurologist. And just to give you a quote from that, from the report most recently in February,
she doesn't get it. She's going back and reading a report from February. 5 months ago. We are now in July. And these people are like, I don't care what this report said in February. We saw him melt down on a debate stage a week ago. And you're telling me, hey, rely on this report from February.
Extremely detailed neurological exam was again reassuring in that there were no findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorder such as a stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis, end quote. So that came directly from in February.
Notice she didn't mention dementia or Alzheimer's. Nope, those weren't on that list. They were conveniently left off.
February, in that comprehensive report that was provided by the president's doctor to me, that I share with all of you. So anyone who is watching can certainly go to our website.
The question, which was this expert's visits, was multiple visits to the White House pertaining at all to the president's care?
Well, here's the thing. I've said he has had 3.
Right back to it. Guy asked her a question. All these multiple visits, the 8 visits over 8 months that this guy has come to the White House since and including February. He's still coming to the White House. Why? Why is he coming to the White House? Why is a Parkinson-renowned doctor coming to the White House? Who could he possibly be working on? Who could be his patient?
His threat had three physicals. In those three physicals, that's when he has seen a specialist, a neurological specialist. I have to be super mindful here, and this is why, and I'll explain this to you in a second. There are thousands of military personnel who come onto this White House.
Think about what she just said. She just said there are thousands of military personnel that come to the White House for a doctor's visit. I don't know how many of you have been in the military, but I've talked to a few people today and they're like, what? Thousands of people come to the White House for doctor's visits? What are you talking about? I've heard from a few, I haven't heard, but I read from a few of the former press secretaries in the White House, and they're like, this is insane. You stood up in front of the press corps and you said thousands of people, military people, thousands of them, have come to the White House for medical attention, as if it's Walter Reed. Does she not realize that most of these press corps people have like little tents set outside the White House? They would see if there was troops coming in for medical attention at the White House. I can't even imagine what the security clearance would be to have all these people go into the doctor at the White House.
Many of them get the care from the White House medical unit, and so need to be super careful. There are, the medical unit hosts a wide range of specialists, from dermatologists to a neurologist, and so
I want some of you who are in the military to let me know. My dad's no longer with us, so I couldn't give him a call. But I want you guys to tell me, if you're in the military or know somebody in the military, is the White House an ordinary stop for medical attention? Basically, is that a triage tent? Do people go there to be checked out by doctors? Is it a regular thing that thousands of troops would be coming to the White House for medical attention?
Cannot speak to every person because there's actually a security reasons to protect their privacy. We respect and protecting people's privacy, so do not want to share. I'm not going to share people's names from here, but the president, I can tell you.
But they're not asking you for other people's medical information. Nobody wants to know who's being treated at the White House, if they're being treated at the White House. There's only one person that these people and me and probably you are interested in knowing if they're being treated. Not Hunter, not Jill, not her, the president. So I don't understand what privacy you're trying to protect, because there's nobody's privacy that anybody is interested in other than Dementia Joe.
Who has seen a neurologist 3 times, as it's connected to a physical that he gets every year that we provide.
Right back to it. Just keeps repeating the same line over and over and over. That's basically the definition of insanity. People expecting a different result, but they're getting the same thing over and over and over. And yet she is the one asking for respect. You're lying to people, straight up looking them in the face and lying to them, and then at the same time saying, can you please respect me? This is too tough. I shouldn't have to be going through this. Really? Really?
There have been a number of people who have said, listen, why don't you have a cognitive test just to rule out that there are any issues?
Okay, so what this reporter said is something that everybody's saying. Dementia Joe, at this point, could end all of this speculation just like that. Go in, have a cognitive test by an independent third-party doctor. You ace that test. That's it. It's over. It's done. You're fine. You can run with the ball. We understand that you may have had some gaffes here or there, but the doctor would then verify that everything is well. Just go take the friggin' test. Why won't you? Why won't you go take the test? And she about to fumble through this now.
With the president, would you counsel him to do that just to sort of put an end to these questions?
Andre, I hear you. The neurologist has said it is not warranted. The president himself, he said it today, he said it multiple times, and the doctor has said this. Everything that he does day in and day out as it relates to delivering for the American people is a cognitive test.
She keeps stating the obvious over and over and over. If he really wanted to make this go away, he could. He could. I would. You would. It's very simple. You've got your finger on the pulse of the nuclear football. You're in charge of hitting that button. Don't you want to make sure that everybody knows that you're okay? Don't you want to make sure that every single American knows that they are protected? Instead, she's doing her best standing up on that podium trying to protect Joe. She's not trying to protect America. That's what these people are having problems with. She has been lying, and she continues to lie over and over and over.
And that is what the medical doctor has said. That is what the specialist. I just want to take a step back for a second, because I do take.
All right, before she goes in this one. Okay, so now you've seen enough here. She's been lying over and over and over again, and now she's upset because she's actually having to do her job. People are asking her questions. Hey, Karine Jean-Pierre, what the hell are you talking about? You guys are being mean to me. I mean, seriously, what's up?
Offense to what Ed alluded to. You know, come out here every day. There's a press briefing, and we do our best to give you the information that we have at the time.
No, you don't. You come out there and lie your ass off every single day. Your job is to lie. We have now realized that. We have watched you for 3+ years gaslight the American people. Does she not remember? Does she not remember back, 8-9 days ago when she told America from that very same podium that the videos that they've been seeing about Dementia Joe were all cheap fakes? Does she forget that? Does she not realize that every single person who watched those videos knew they were real, but you were telling them it was fake? And of course, some of these people in that very room ran with it because they tried to protect you. Now you've got no more force shield. It's gone. The force field and force shield is down. Everybody knows you're full of it. And now you're back to, well, every single day, I try my best. I really do.
That's what we do. And we understand that the freedom of the press, we respect the freedom of the press. You heard me talk about this last week.
We heard you last week talk about fake videos. We heard you talk about going in and making sure that these fake videos were taken down off of social media. You lied to the American people. That's what we remember.
I appreciate the back and forth that we all have. I try to respect you, and I hope you try to respect me. And we literally do everything that we can. My team.
You can whisper all you want about literally doing everything you can. No, what you're doing is everything you can to protect Dementia Joe. That's what you're doing. You're lying right now. You realize at this point where you're telling everybody that you've been doing everything you can, and now everybody knows that you have not been doing everything you can. So the mere fact that you're doing this right now and saying these words, you're just underscoring the fact that everybody knows you're full of poop. You're crap. You're done. You're a gaslighter. Nobody cares what you think anymore. They just want the answers to the questions.
Does everything that we can to make sure we get the answers to you. That's what we do. And sometimes we disagree. Sometimes we are not in agreement. But you know what? That's democracy. That is what is important, to have that healthy back and forth. And so to say that I'm holding information or allude to anything else is not unfair.
No, that's true. You said, I am not going to divulge that. When you say I'm not going to divulge that, that means you are withholding information. I'm sure there are people in the audience going, what in the hell is she talking about? How is she up there saying that I don't keep information from you when we know that's your very job, to basically be Baghdad Bob up there and lie your ass off? And you even said it during this press conference. I'm just not going to go there. We're not going to discuss that. I'm not going to invade people's privacy. Then you should have said, I don't know. That would have been a smarter answer. I don't know. I have no idea. No one's told me. I'm not really sure. But instead, you get up there and you start talking about thousands of people come here for medical treatment. And I'm not going to divulge any information to you. Not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. You're lying. You're a lying hack.
It's really, really unfair. I think people who are watching and have been watching this briefing for this past week could say that we are doing our best in this briefing to
No, they wouldn't. There's not a single person who would say that you're doing your best. Not a single person, unless they're, of course, in your administration. The news is no longer covering for you. The news now knows you're full of crap.
Provide the information that we have. And I will admit, I will be the first one to admit, sometimes I get it wrong. At least I admit that.
I admit that sometimes I get it wrong. You get it wrong every single day. You don't admit that. Just keep saying to yourself, cheap fakes, cheap fakes. You have not come out and admitted that you were wrong about that.
At least I admit that. And sometimes I don't have the information. And I will always, always admit that. But I do take offense to what was just happening at the beginning of this briefing. It's not okay.
Does she really think that chastising the press is going to work for her? That that's a good strategy to come out and tell the press, who's trying to get information to the American people, finally, that I don't like what you guys are doing. I don't like how you guys are asking me questions I should have the answer to. Does she really think that's going to work? Man, then she's even more obtuse than I thought she was.
Calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we haven't even discussed, we would never even discuss something like that.
We would never even discuss something. Your husband wears Depends. Your husband doesn't know where he's going. You have to lead him off the stage, and you wouldn't even discuss it with him? You sure about that? Wow. Wow, lady. You just, wow. What a wife.
Joe Biden isn't doing anything today, but the First Lady is the first stop on her Southern campaign blitz. She's making remarks in Florida and Georgia today. 3 stops, 3 states.
So the real president went to Wilmington, North Carolina, came to Florida, went to Georgia, and is making these campaign stops for an office that she doesn't hold. Meanwhile, the president, supposed president, is completely absent. Nobody has seen him. Like I said earlier, he called in to Morning Joe this morning. He didn't go there. He called it in. Nobody's seen him. The letter got posted. Nobody's seen him come out and talk about it. All you've seen is Jill and Karine Jean-Pierre.
For her, 0 public events scheduled today during arguably the most crucial week of Joe Biden's political career, although he did call into MSNBC this morning and sent out a letter to the Democrats. But can they stave off all of these Democrats?
No, they can't. They can't even contain their own party. That's why right now they're all talking about, well, where's Trump been the last 10 days? How come Trump's not being talked about? Where's he? He's out on the golf course. Trump's a private citizen. He's already got the Republican nomination. He's good. He doesn't have to do anything. He can just sit back, eat some popcorn, and watch this clown show. You want him to come out and say something because you want to take the eyes off of you. He's not doing that. He knows. Everybody knows. When your opponent or your enemy is making mistakes, just stay out of their way. Stay completely out of the way. Let them make all the mistakes they possibly can. And right now, this clown show, the absolute epic clown show to the Democrats, they just can't. They can't extricate themselves from what's going on. It's a done deal. This guy has got to get out because at this point, it will be a landslide. I don't really know if they could cheat enough to overcome what's going on right now. It's July. The election's in November. This should already be done. You should be getting ready to go to your convention. And meanwhile, the President of the United States, he's AWOL. Nobody knows where he is today. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Standing up and saying no more, even if they're doing it in privately, the chorus is growing and it's loud.
It's getting really loud. The chorus is getting overwhelming. And they're trying to basically play whack-a-mole and knock some of this stuff down. But it's not stopping. It's actually growing. And I watched some Democrat pundits today. I'm going to show you something from Jake Tapper in a second. Jake Tapper, he's had it. I don't know what ticked him off, maybe at the debate, but right now he's done and he's coming for, Dementia Joe. Now, earlier I had mentioned about the big boy press conference. You're going to enjoy this.
After that, the president will hold a press conference. I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it.
To show the unprecedented strength of our alliance, hold a press conference, a big boy press conference.
Joe, you did such
a big boy press conference. Oh, I cut that off too early?
Great job. You answered every question. You knew all the...
You You get ice cream, Joe. You're such a good big boy. Now you get to do a couple big boy press conferences. Okay? Oh my God. This is the leader of the free world. This is the conversation we're having? Big boy press conferences? Seriously? Is that where we are at this point? It's absolutely disgusting and frightening at the same time.
In reality, 72% of voters say that they believe President Biden is too old. That's according to CNN's most recent polling. Voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues compared.
Isn't he one of them? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if people said who are the elites, of course there's going to be some of the big donors, but I'm sure they're going to talk about some of the big names in the media. And Jake's out there saying, hey, some of these people are late to the party. You're late to the party, Jake, but at least you showed up.
To the rest of the public. The elites have been forced to reckon with it after the debate just 11 days ago.
That's what's happened. He's been forced. It was in his face. He was the man closest to Joe Biden at that point, other than Donald Trump. And he saw it firsthand, up close and personal. He even saw Jill having to help Joe down a step that was like 4 inches big. He saw it all. He saw the drooling. He saw him lost on stage. He saw the mumbling. And now he can't get it out of his mind, even though he's one of the elites he's talking about.
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on faith that can intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow?
Okay. So this is one of the statements he made when he called into Morning Joe this morning. And what he mumbled there says, I can't make any assurances. How can you make any assurances? You may get in an accident on the way to work tomorrow. That's the President of the United States. And Jake Tapper rips him a new a-hole right here.
Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly. Many Democratic officials with whom I've spoken are worried that President Biden and his family and his inner circle appear to be in complete denial, not just about whatever might be wrong with him, but the state of his candidacy right now.
I don't know how it could get any worse for Dementia Joe, Jill, and Hunter. I really don't. This thing is cascading. It's becoming a huge ball of momentum, and every single day it keeps getting worse. Like I said in my video, get your popcorn ready because it just keeps going on and on and on. So I got a couple things more to show you here.
This guy has the entire Democratic Party held hostage. He wakes up this morning, sends them a ransom letter, and says, you better stick with me.
That was Dana Perino just busting out laughing on the set of The Five. It was a ransom letter. It was basically a F around and find out letter. That's how badass that Dementia Joe is. And Jesse Waters is basically going to rip him one here.
Nobody gets hurt.
That's true.
And everyone's like, wait a second, if we stick with you, we all get hurt. And then he's blaming the elites. The elites is why he's in the White House to begin with.
Exactly. Who does he think put him in the White House? I mean, I'm not going to go there. I can't talk about what really happened in the middle of the night because the people upstairs would yank this video. But you know exactly what Jesse's talking about.
Joe Biden would be nowhere without the elites, without the CIA, the donors, the media. They put him in there. And they can take him out right now, and you can already see they're trying to take him out. He's like a puppet with no strings, thinks he can dance. All of a sudden, you find out the Parkinson doc lives at the White House. Oh, where'd that come from? He has no...
The Parkinson doc lives at the White House. And before that, he said it's a puppet who thinks he can walk. Oh, my God.
Cards for everything. They tell him where to stand. They're probably going to find his fingerprints on the cocaine if he stays one more week. I'd be watching out for sandbags everywhere. I'd be worrying about the teleprompter breaking all of a sudden. Oops, sorry about that, Joe. They have so much dirt on this guy. They know everything about his dirty son. They're probably negotiating a golden parachute because it's...
Bingo. That's what my theory is. My theory is right now, Joe needs a complete free get out of jail card. Give me the house in Martha's Vineyard like Obama got. Cash me out. Give me tens of millions of dollars. Give me a free get out of jail card. Give me immunity forever. And then also do that for my son. And do that for my wife. And a whole bunch of other people here in the White House. And then I'll walk away. I think we're going to see him resign because, like Jesse Waters just said, the dirt is there. They just haven't allowed anybody to look at it. Trump tried to tell everybody, about the $5 billion and the prosecutor got fired. And son of a bitch, he's gone. He started looking into it and they shut him down. So can you imagine just how much dirt there is on Dementia Joe?
Let's be honest. There's no way Joe Biden's making money on the lecture circuit after this. There's no way Joe Biden's writing a book and selling it on cable TV.
Reverse mortgages.
Reverse mortgages is all he has. We're in deep trouble. I don't know. I think it's Bidengate.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is Bidengate.
It really is Bidengate. There's no other explanation for what we're seeing happen right now. And you have to realize, it's only Monday. It's Monday. He hid all day. His wife went out on a campaign trail. He sent a stupid letter, and his press secretary went out and got annihilated. I mean, someone from the press corps should have called 911 because, oh my God, were the bullets flying in that press room. And it's Monday. I don't know how this guy survives till Friday. And I don't mean physically. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying I don't understand how his political career makes it to Friday at this point. Who knows? He may pull a monkey out of his butt, and we'll see. Hey everybody, join me for the next Trump rally as I broadcast it live. If you've ever joined me on any of my watch parties, you know they are a ton of fun. I do a bunch of giveaways. You might win a trip. You might win some money. So tune in to the next live rally broadcast. Just click right here to be notified as soon as I go live. Talk to you soon.